So Satish, I'd also like to ask you about the notion of flourishing. And for me, I've been working in this area of well-being for many, many years, and I've seen especially over the last decade, there's so much science, research, and also our wisdom and intuition that really reminds us and speaks to us of what it takes to flourish.
Yeah.
And there's many versions of that word now.
Yeah.
If I look into nature,
Yeah.
Mother Nature knows those cycles. Mother Nature flourishes every season.
Yeah.
And I'd love to hear your perspective on human flourishing and why that's important.
Yes, yeah. I mean, we talked about economic growth. I would say we have to shift our focus from economic growth to growth in well-being. And when you have a growth in well-being rather than economic growth, you naturally have an outcome as a human flourishing. Human flourishing happens when there's a right relationship among men and women, right relationship among workers and bosses, right relationship between colleagues, and right relationship between humans and nature. And also right relationship with yourself. If you are not happy within, you won't be able to relate to other people happily. And if you are not happily relating to other people, you will not be able to relate to nature happily. So personal, social, and ecological, natural, these three dimensions have to come together in a good harmony in order to have human flourishing. Flourishing of our talent, flourishing of our imagination, flourishing of our relationships with each other and with ourselves. All these are the dimensions where flourishing plays a very important role. When you are able to help someone, you flourish. When you are able to love someone, you flourish. When you are able to feed a hungry, you flourish. Because you feel a sense of joy, you sense of fulfillment. Say, I have served, I have been useful to somebody. When you are able to create something, you are flourishing. If you write a beautiful poem, you say, beautiful words I have put together, I am happy. If you paint a beautiful picture, that's a flourishing. Say, you feel a sense of fulfillment. What a painting I'm engaged in, and colors and imagination and creativity all come together. That's a flourishing. So anything where you are able to either create, like a poem or a painting or architecture or a garden or a beautiful dish of food, something creativity, that brings flourishing. And also serving, caring for others, that brings flourishing. So even if you bring a cup of tea for your guest, or even if you make a meal for your mother or father or your wife or husband, you feel flourishing. And your children, you feel a sense of flourishing when you take care of somebody else. So these are the two aspects. One, being imaginative, creative, and making something imaginative and creative, a work of art. And work of art is not only painting, fine art, or poetry or dance. Work of art is anything you do with imagination and creativity, even a garden.
And our bodies can be that.
And bodies can be that, exactly. So flourishing at a creative level, personal level, and flourishing in relationship in helping others.
Wonderful. Then
you feel a sense of fulfillment and joy and happiness, and then money and other things are sort of icing on the cake.
Yes.
They add to your happiness, but the real happiness comes with your own imaginative, creative work and you helping somebody else.
Thank you, Satish. That reminds me also of Maslow's
Yeah.
theory when he said our fullest potential is self-actualization.
Yes.
When we have our self-awareness and we contribute and know that our value and our purpose is expressed in the world. It's beautiful.
Exactly.
Thank you.
You are welcome.